Hi, my name is Ashton, and I'd like to talk to you about my experience with Elaine. Before meeting her, I was experiencing a lot of anxiety, like so many others. I was very irritable, and at one point I started having panic attacks in my sleep. I knew before that there was something wrong, something going on inside of me. I didn't really start taking it seriously until that began to happen. I had never even had a panic attack in my waking life, and all of a sudden I'm having them in my sleep. So I knew that something inside of me needed to change. I just didn't know what it was, but I knew I wasn't going to be okay if I continued down the path that I was on. So one night, it was like 3 a.m. and I was Googling the weird stuff that you Google at 3 a.m. And I typed in past life regressions NYC, and Elaine popped up. I took a look at her website, and I knew that it was no coincidence that I was there. I knew that I was going to meet her, and that she was going to play an important role in my life. So, fast forward to the day of my session. I'd like to say that it wasn't an earth-shattering experience for me. There wasn't a lot of emotion that I experienced, but it was still very profound, and I don't think I realized how profound until after my session, which we'll get to. So what everyone says is true. She is incredibly non-judgmental. You somehow feel at ease opening up about things that you don't even like to think about, much less talk about with a total stranger. I felt like I could just free myself of experiences that were cloaked in shame and guilt, things that I carried with me for many years. I felt like I was giving her those burdens to share with me, and then she was just like sending them off on their merry way. So after my session, I didn't feel anything, which was weird because I had watched a bunch of these videos and I was expecting to be very emotional and tired, but I felt nothing, and I was super energized. There was like a week's time where I was not really sleeping at all. I wasn't hungry, I wasn't thirsty, and I got a lot done. Stuff that she had suggested in my session, changes that I should make, which seemed initially very intimidating and scary, but she kept reassuring me, Ashton, this is going to be easy for you. And she was right, it was easy for me. I made those changes. One of them being quitting my job and starting my own business, which is a pattern among her patients. There's a reason why so many of her patients end up starting their own businesses, and it's because she has a unique ability to see the potential in people, potential that they sometimes can't even see in themselves, and she waters that through encouragement and support, giving you resources. So I was no different. She inspired me to start my own business, Real Heal NYC. It's a production company, and I know that this is just the beginning of the healing work that I'm going to do in the entertainment industry. It all started here. She's been creating opportunities for me to develop my skills, and I seriously, I don't know how I could possibly thank her, because she goes above and beyond. It's not just a one-time session and then she's done with you. Your family, once you've met her. And about a week after my session, I had gotten a lot of this stuff done, these big changes, and I was wondering, wow, maybe I'm not gonna have this emotional experience everyone has post-session. But then it hit me, and it hit me hard, and that's when I realized the gravity of my session with her and the changes that I had made. It all became very overwhelming, and I felt so utterly alone to the core, to my core. I was so scared that she was going to completely abandon me and leave me to deal with this carnage following my session, but she didn't. She doesn't. She is so there with you the whole time. And I do want to point out, and a lot of people have mentioned this before, but I really want to emphasize it, having a session with her is not the answer to all of your problems. It's not going to be a quick fix and suddenly it's all magical and wonderful and you're happy. But what it does is it really cleans you up. It clears you out of all the distractions and the noise in your head, so that after your session you can really notice when a negative thought or pattern or core belief comes up. You can notice it in the moment because everything is so clean inside of you, and you can decide whether it stays or goes. So the lows that I experienced after my session were related to that, to being confronted with stuff that I had carried with me, and that was keeping me from growing into the person that I need to be. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken away from this, is an ability to notice these things now and deal with them accordingly. I didn't have the strength or the awareness to do that before meeting her. So I want to close by saying this. When I first signed up for a session with Elaine, I thought that I was just going to be paying some stranger to talk about my problems in hopes that I would feel better after. But what I got was the most love I've ever experienced in my entire life. Support that I didn't even feel like I deserved. And connection to someone who cares so deeply about me. And I don't know how you can put a price tag on that. I don't know how you can thank someone for showing you unconditional love. I don't know how you could ever give back. But I am absolutely certain that her intention for doing the work that she does is to empower people to become the best version of themselves so that we can all change the world together. That's what she's doing, one person at a time.